I'm Robert Tusardi, and this is how I took $15,000 and turned it into a $1 million NFT game called Castles, where players own their game assets and can trade them for crypto and fiat like the United States dollar. This is a great video for you if you are into entrepreneurship, crypto, video games, or you just want to know what the heck is an NFT game. So the road to Castle starts in the year 2019. I was a struggling filmmaker for a very long time, making low-budget movies, and I really needed to be doing something different. I've always had an eye on technology, and I realized that smart contract platforms like Ethereum and Wax, that was heading for mass adoption. Smart contracts are kind of like programs, and they run on decentralized networks. Using them, you can own and trade assets almost as if they are physical things, from digital wallet to digital wallet. So knowing this, an idea came to me like an epiphany called the Job Token. The Job Token allows gamers to earn tokens from playing video games. So it wasn't Castles, but it started me on the journey, and I know that the Job Token is going to change the world in the future. Now the problem was I only had $15,000 in my savings and no team to help me build it. But with everything that's happening in artificial intelligence and robotics, I know that most of what humans create now is going to be automated in the future, and we need the Job Token, something that people can do to provide value. So I quit my job making movies and I got started with what I called Blockchain Kingdoms. Minor spoiler, the way we were able to create a top blockchain game was that we hired Apex NFT Brazil to build our smart contract and website for us. If you have a Web3 project or you need any kind of website built for you, hire Apex NFT. Go to apexnft.com.br. Let them know that Robert sent you. You will not find a better team. So my first step was submitting for a patent. This took hundreds of hours of writing and research, but I was starting from nothing and approaching investors, so I had to start with something. So my second step was creating a prototype, a little app that people could go into and interact with and see what it would be like to use the Job Token. I hired my friend James of Orb Art Studio to create a lot of the artwork, and I also wrote a short white paper explaining how the Job Token would operate. So the first and second steps had laid the foundation for the Job Token, what it was, creating material for people to look at and interact with. So the third step was creating a social media presence, creating Facebook ads targeting people who are into crypto and video games and finance, and then growing my social medias from there, my Discord and my YouTube and an email list. It's also started my YouTube channel, and this made a big difference in the long run because a lot of these crypto NFT game projects, they have anonymous teams. Hi, I'm right here. I'm Robert Tusardi, and I'm a real person building this because I believe in it. So the whole point of the early days was to get a crowdfund going, to grow my audience, and to raise funding. The crowdfund ended up only being a moderate success. We raised $7,081 over the course of 1 month. I feel very grateful for the amount that we have raised and what we have learned about our product. So at that point, $7,000 wasn't a lot. It was almost as much as I had put in. Yes, I should continue doing this because I believe in it. And even though we hadn't raised a lot and I was still on my own, I didn't have a team, but I was growing a small audience and they wanted what I was creating, so I pushed through. So to get exposure, I started to cover other crypto games on my YouTube channel. Most important of these was Gala Games and their upcoming fantasy MMO called Mirandus. I noticed the pricing structure of their Gala nodes had some similarities to my Job Token, so this was my way of looking at them and seeing if they could help prove my thesis. They are turning video gaming into ownership, so when you buy items and things inside their video games, you will own them, you can trade and sell them. I bought 3 Gala nodes and earned a total of 35 referrals because these videos that I was posting were being pretty popular. It can't be overstated the positive effect owning these Gala nodes and having these referrals had on my finances. The crypto bull run was starting, and I sold Gala tokens to help finance what we eventually started calling Metasource Games. After a year of just like hard work and toughing it out, I was finally starting to get some traction. So I played full out. I redoubled my efforts and I created the Metasource cards and started selling them on Shopify. At this point, I was doing a whole lot of work, and doing it all on my own was just unsustainable. It was time to recruit my first team members. Now, I'd been growing a community around this business in our Discord, and there were a few people I really started to trust. So I started to talk to them about joining me on this journey. Mark Night Sky Castillo became my first co-founder and started working on the Metasource cards. Mark was followed by Joshua Erdhall Cantrell, who became my full business partner, and together he and I grew Metasource Games and designed the awesome things we were creating.
We are going to keep on building it. We're going to keep on making it better, and all sorts of good, awesome improvements to the website.
So this is when I started to scale up. We had the team, we had the Metasource cards creating revenue, I was getting side revenue from the Gala tokens that I was getting from the Gala nodes, and then we had a WeFunder that had $80,000 committed to it, so we decided we would start a prototype multiplayer game to prove our job token. And that was when WeFunder came to us and said, hey guys, we spoke to our bank and actually they don't want us to support your project, so we can't. The time that happened, it was a real punch in the face. I remember Josh calling me and he was like, it's gonna be okay. And I was sitting here and I was like, man, I'm like, you know what? He's right. It is gonna be okay because we're gonna make it okay. So let's keep, again, pushing through. So this brings us closer to the idea for castles. At the time, we were doing too many things at once: the Metasource cards, the job token, and its 5 versus 5 prototype. And we were also really starting to think about the castles game economy, because it seemed like something that we could do at a small scale. The job token was just going to be really expensive to do, but castles, the NFT game, we could really do something there on a more affordable scale. I decided we just have to focus on one thing and make it great. So we made that thing castles. We love our supporters and people who donated to the early crowdfund and people who bought the Metasource cards. We gave them all important early game assets like barons and land packs. So then we had to choose a blockchain to put castles on. We weren't going to choose Ethereum because if we were playing castles on Ethereum, it would be costing you thousands of dollars a day. But on Wax, it costs you almost nothing. So one of the biggest challenges we faced was finding someone to help us build our website and our smart contracts. The pool of people who can write them is very small. We're very blessed to find Victor Lopez, the CEO of Apex NFT. They are incredible. They have done an amazing job building our game. A lot of the time they were actually ahead of schedule, which is almost unknown in the blockchain world. Most blockchain games delay, but Victor and his team was always over-delivering on all of their promises, and it was amazing. Our players loved it. This is how we became a top blockchain game. It was also Josh's hard work helping me build the economy, and Victor and his team making the game, releasing feature after feature. Like, our players were totally blown away. Like, they were like, these guys are amazing. Players were first merging lands, creating lands, earning tokens, and then we held these events that we called Crafting Wonders. People would use in-game resources to create these massive wonders like the Royal Courthouse, the Explorers Guild, the Blacksmith Guild. In the summer of 2022, we released the Castles free-to-play mode, also called the Royal Banquet. It was a massive success, and we skyrocketed to the top of the DApp Radar charts. And in the meantime, we were working on our Dungeons expansion, which was a massive undertaking. Now, the cool thing about Dungeons is the level of customization it has. There are 3 different heroes. There is a mage, a knight, and a warrior. The common equipment, they look kind of poor, like they're just getting started out on their adventures. But in the mythic equipment, they start to look like gods, like these deities. And you customize the colors, and there's 11 different pieces. The customization options are almost endless. And this takes us to scarcity, because most assets in castles you just can't keep making for the same in-game price forever. They actually start to become more and more expensive in-game resources over time. And this is why the castles economy works. It's going to be harder to create new lands. It's going to be harder to get mythic heroes. So make castles even better, we've been starting to give away cash prizes in the form of Wax tokens. So people play our game modes, and then we reward them with these Wax tokens. Between 2021 and 2022, the Castles NFT game traded close to $2 million in market volume. This has all been made possible by our team, by Josh and Victor and Mark and his wife Shay, who helped us with Metasource cards, and all of our supporters who have joined us on this journey so far. Now, you may be wondering, whatever happened to the job token? Well, I'm excited to share that it's still coming, and we've rebranded it as the Scholar Fi token. And it's coming with all of the knowledge and all the experience and benefits of us knowing how to create Web3 projects. And it's going to make people a believer in Web3. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Subscribe to our channel at the bottom of this video. Join our Discord and our Twitter. I will be dropping more knowledge in the next video, so join us then.